Good morning, I am Sidrat, and this audio has had to be redone several times because I forgot I had the fan on because it's scorching. This is Sidrat Gaming. Welcome. Let's start with Wordle. And so, because I'm doing the overdub, I've already done this. I'd done this yesterday when I realized the audio was not as good as I wanted it to be. But what I do with Wordle, I take hints because life is too short. I normally do it in the morning over breakfast, and it just gives me a time to start exercising those little grey cells. So I've got the hints at this point, and my mind went totally blank, as in empty. And it was really annoying. So I had to have another look and come back. Um, and I don't think I even remembered the word store, S-T-O-R-E, for a while. And um, and yeah, bored was my first guess, which was actually fortunate. Although I think store would have helped a bit. Um, and I've forgotten what I do now. But this is the Wordle word finder, which is a really useful assist. As it lets you enter your correct letters, misplaced letters, and also the excluded letters, which, as you can see, that first guess reduced the options down to 5. So I know I'm definitely going to win. And that was really good. And that was the second one was a really good guess, and the third one was the correct answer, because it was the only thing that would have fit, except for worry. That would have been annoying. I would have been annoyed if it took me 3 guesses. But that's what it is guesses. If you've got 50-50, you pick one, you're either right or wrong. And that's my record over several years, I reckon. And all the hints pages, or most of the hints pages, have comment sections as well. And it can be a regular place where people meet and chat to the same people. It's really nice to read if you're into that sort of thing. The next one is a word finder, essentially, Strands, and is themed. So the hint is what is, and then you've got the image on that hints page of contestants with their hands on the desk in front of a buzzer. So I was just going through the motions. I got the first hints because, again, life is too short. So if you don't want the hints, enjoy, go at it. But I got the first 3 quite quickly. Buzzer, question, answer. And this is where I started questioning and second guessing and not paying attention to the recording at all. I was doing the commentary as I was doing the puzzles, but all of that text you couldn't hear because of the fan, which was very, very nice, but not for audio recording purposes. It kind of got in the way, big time. I think at this point I was looking at the word board, but I just didn't have faith that was the answer. But in this game, if you don't have the right answer, then that just fills up your hints box. So there's no downside to trying guesses, which is what I eventually did, and it was right. Who knew? I think doing that led me to the big puzzle. It will go gold, and that is where you link what is a phrase or a word that links one side of the board to the opposite side of the board. It doesn't have to end on the opposite side of the board. Sometimes it can go top to bottom and then swing back upwards, or it can go left to right or right to left, and it will swing back in a different direction. As long as it hits words on both sides, then that's is pretty much like a constraint that you can use to your advantage, because you're going to know that essentially it's going to be within that constraint. We've only got one character left at the top of the row, so it must have started there, because we've already blocked off the right side of the grid as well. What else? We've got two more answers to find, so I'm just going through the motions. Gry. I think that led me to, what did I do? Wager. Okay. And then category. It's funny how my mind works when doing puzzles. Obviously, everything is obvious when you know the answer. But in the moment, you may as well be looking at a foreign language, which is fine. I know connections is really annoying. Some days it's easy, sometimes it's impossible, and you'll see later you'll get puzzles that you do in minutes, but there's like a 20% success rate because everyone else struggled. It's bizarre. What you're seeing on the screen now is Connections Companion. Sorry, it's not. This is the hints guide within the New York Times. You'll see a third-party app, basically, which is on a different browser. I'll be bringing it over shortly. And that's just its own separate grid, so you can plan ahead without taking up any of your 4 guesses. If you guess incorrectly 4 times, you lose, and it shows you the answers. So I pulled the information over, and I'm just going through the likely, because you can have initial guesses, but there will be red herrings that you will need to avoid. So itching, redness, rash, and hives, skin issues. You got strokes, hole, pins, par. That was my initial guess for golfing terms. And then you've got tweets and vines, snaps, and I think pins is blue. Purple. Purple was quite simple. That puzzle, don't expect it to be that easy all the time, because it's not. And of course you've got some Americanisms or some American centric groupings that make absolutely no sense to the rest of the world, and that can be frustrating. If you solve the puzzle purple, blue, green, and yellow, you get a reverse rainbow, which is why Connections Copilot is really useful to have. Other people that you can read in the comments will say whether it's valid or not. That's what they're presenting. They do it by hand. They do it on a piece of paper or whatever. If you've got time for that, if you're that smart, congratulations. These puzzles, while you are compared to other people, it is a personal challenge. And don't forget, you should be doing this when you wake up. This is the best time. I don't see the point of doing this when you're trying to go to bed. That defeats the object of switching your brain off so that you can get to sleep. But over cereal, absolutely fantastic. I think these puzzles take a total of like 30 minutes or so, around that time. And it's not the worst way of waking up and getting started with your day if you've got the luxury of having a chill out session where you can do that uninterrupted for 30 minutes or so. If you're not in that position, probably something to aim for, or something that will happen over time. Absolutely fine. Connections bots. This is where the system will actually compare your answers to other people's answers. It's, just information. It's not necessary, but that puzzle, 91% success rate. I don't think I've ever seen a success rate that high. It's normally hovering around 50s and sometimes even the 40s. But yeah, that was wonderfully simple. But even still, people still lost. They guessed 4 times incorrectly, and they didn't win, despite 91% of people winning. But at the time of the recording, that was played over 1 million times, and I got 1 in 83 from that. And these are the incorrect guesses that other people have gone for. See, whole pin stroke. That was my first thought on the co-pilot. But I saw the mistake and I didn't enter it into the game. So I got I got the full score, if you will, with 0 wrong guesses. And this is my guesses compared to other people with the correct and then mistakes. And that's my rewards. So the next one, I'm going to click on Strands. New York Times navigating leaves a lot to be desired. I would prefer to do connections third, but it will take you from Wordle to connections to the Strands, then the Mini, which is what I'm playing now, and then the Midi. You've got the main New York Times crossword, but if I can do that, then I would probably be doing it professionally. I don't have the time or the inclination to complete such a puzzle. American puzzles differ greatly. Not just the context and the source material, obviously, but if an answer is in 2 parts, the English version will have the number of characters in the first part, a dash or a hyphen, and then the number of characters in the second part, and so on and so on, if there's 3 or 4 parts to it. It's really nice so that you're not guessing single words on a 2-word answer. It saves time, and it's a bit more honest of the compiler and setter. And if I remember correctly, I was recording, so I was checking the recording and I was doing the puzzle, and my mind was a bit of a mush soup at this point, especially at this point, which is kind of the opposite of what I want to happen when I'm doing puzzles. I want my brain to get what's the word that I'm looking for? I want my brain to get faster on the synapses. So supervillains hideouts. I was thinking volcano, cave. No, obviously it's layer, which I do find very shortly when I look at the name of variants of Saturday Night Live, which I don't watch because it's I don't think we can watch it over here. And the portions of the episodes that I have watched, it's not always that funny. Even though people are laughing, we do kind of wonder why they're laughing. But anyway, humor is very subjective. Just peachy dandy. Yeah. Word after leading, and first that was lady, although I don't think America has a leading lady currently. It could be a leading woman, or some other term if you wish. But yeah, so American puzzles is just weird. Mother chicken hen, yeah. I was thinking Kobe Bryant's, but I would be flabbergasted if he has never been on Saturday Night Live. So after that nonsense, I did do the puzzle quite quickly though. We'll go on to the MIDI, and we'll complete that one. This doesn't. So if I can do the mini in 60 seconds or thereabouts, I'm happy. If I can do the MIDI in like 5 minutes, that's absolutely fine too. I can't remember how long this takes. I know I got stuck and moved on. I looked that one up because who would have known? American artist of R&B with singles or American chart success in 2023. No. Show praise in a way. Clap. No. Yeah. Obviously, I've already completed the puzzle, so I remember remember most of the answers, not all of them, because even now some of the answers are questionable, sometimes baffling. Yeah, and then you've got 8 down, which is iron clothes. Armor is not clothing. Armor is protective equipment, not clothing. Just a niggle. It's also spelt with a U, as everyone should know. Neighbour of Marsh and Homer. Wonderful, wonderful, kind-hearted Ned Flanders makes an appearance there when was awaiting a decision. Yeah, okay. I forgot the answer to that one. Laptop. That's the answer that's going to annoy the heck out of me, and you'll see why when you see the answer. If you know the answer and you've never seen this puzzle before, how? Leave it in the comments. I would be very interested to hear the reasoning behind the answer to that clue. Yeah, because I still have no idea. Absolutely none whatsoever. I've got a good feeling. I don't think. I think there would have been an apostrophe in an English puzzle, if it's used at all, because it's a contraction, which is 2 words. So instead of it being 5 words, or 1 and 5, it's been reduced to 1 and 2. Sorry, 1 and 4 being reduced to 1 and 2. Yeah. But let's not take it too seriously, eh? This is dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. I always thought Moolah had an H. Moolah. But anyway. Tank top. Yep. Another questionable question, to say the least. Alright, let's have a look. Where am I? Oh, frat dude. I think I was thinking of what that could be while I was looking at others. So, which is why I put, or tried to put llama in for a petting zoo baby, which is of course lamb. Is it bud? It's a word that I never think about. No, it's bro. See, I've already completed the puzzle and I still got the answer wrong. The day after. We've got Amber. Yep, that was general knowledge. I prefer general knowledge to American slang. But when it comes to puzzles, if it's specific knowledge, not general knowledge, we've got the internet. We can look it up, which is what I did on the previous puzzle. I'm not going to sit here scratching my head with trying to find information that I know I don't have. You either know the answer or you don't. If you're strong enough to use the resources at your command, then you will get the answer and it'll be much quicker than pondering or giving up in a rage. That's not what these puzzles should be doing in the morning. They should be expanding and stretching the grey muscles like a workout. That's what it comes down to. If you exercise in the morning, leave the comment. You're on the right path. Keep going. And if you enjoy it, even better. If you don't enjoy it until you're doing it, then even better, because you're making that first step, which is the hardest. At my age, if I don't stretch at the beginning of the day, things get harder later on, and it doesn't have to take long. It's like 5 minutes or a couple of minutes, and you're just getting the circulation going, ironing out any kinks in the muscle, depending on the way you sleep. You don't have to be lifting 200 kilos unless you want to, unless you train up to it. But again, you don't have to. That golf 19 down one was a bit odd. Tap in, but it is an easy shot in golf. Easy shot in golf is your swing. I don't know if that's an actual shot, but yeah. Oh, treetop. The answer is ancestor, 17 across. Treetop, ancestor. Not family tree. There's no indication of any family being included, but it is two words, tree and top. Is there were a few questions on this grid that made me question the assessor's morality. And it's like, are you doing this to trip people up on purpose? If so, what do you get out of it? And tank top, algae. If you've got algae in your fish tank, clean it off. It's not usual. Well, it does happen naturally, but it shouldn't be present. Certainly not present in a large form. If you take it off when you first see it, you won't have to get the scraper out. So do it in small bits and do it often. That's all. And of course, give your fish a little scratch on their belly if they turn upside down, because some fish will actually do that, and they like doing it. Here is tiles. I don't normally play this, but we're at 24 minutes. No, not tiles, pips I was looking for. I've never played tiles before. Pips, it's a fun game. It's completely logic. There's some maths, but it's basic, very, very basic maths. So we've got 4 dominoes and we have to put them in the right place. And it's not always obvious, because we can't put the 5 there because we'll need the 10, or those two tiles will add up to 10. So that is, yeah. Alright, so I think I was on the right track. On the right side of the grid, but not the left side of the grid. The first domino has to be switched around, because top two add up to 11 and not 10. 11, there we go. That's under 4, so I was right there, wasn't I? 10. No, that one flips around and gets moved up. Right, okay. And that gets flipped around, so the 4 is at the top and the 3 is at the bottom. Congratulations. A minute and a half to do that puzzle, which is absolutely fine. Not bad at all. Could be better if I looked at the grid first of all. I looked at medium and I thought, no, there's 26 minutes into the video, I'm going to stop here, which is a good time to say thank you very much for watching the video. The next video, when I get to upload that, will be done live. I'll make sure the fan isn't on me, so it will be more of a thought process video. Is daunting because I have no idea how long those videos will take, but if you've enjoyed watching me stumble over these Americanized questions, then I'll be happy to see you next time. In the meantime, have a great day. Be fantastic to yourself and others, and do the little things. Enjoy.